also a September 2004 spending update. The boss's mix with pesto, and just like a bob with me with basil, and I got a tea here, some peppermint tea. It's a sponge, just got off work a little while ago, and so I'll start off with doing the spending update. So it's in Canadian dollars, and it's for September 2024. I spent $153.02 on beer and snacks, so and coffee, so quite a bit. I need to get that down. Gas and snacks. It was about average. Spent $63.69 on gas and snacks. So that's not too bad. Electricity. I spent $24.54. Well, this is all the money that I spent, which is the money that I earned later. So the electrical bill is quite low, as it usually is in the warmer months. When it gets cold, it can be upwards of $70. So. I spent about $99 on medication, $99.07 rather, on my medication. Groceries and snacks was quite a bit, but well, I think it's not too bad when you consider if I spend more on groceries. I usually spend less on dining out. Dining out's more expensive than groceries, so $194.18 on that. So dining out. I'll explain about the folio later, but spent $78.54, so that's compared to my previous months, that's been like pretty good actually. I did quit lending money, but at this period in time that I'm doing the money spending update for, I was still lending money, so I lent out $440 to some friends. But I have quit lending money, and I made some videos about that, so I just wasn't getting it back basically. Like people weren't paying me back when they should have, and some people not paying me back at all. It was pretty bad, so. So I work at a resort, and at work you can charge meals from the resort. The restaurant that's at the resort. You can charge them to your folio, and then it goes on the computer basically, and then at the end of the month, I think it's just once a month. It could be every 2 weeks because we get paid bi-monthly, or pretty much bi-weekly. Just get the money gets taken off your paycheck. I try not to do that. I do have a folio, but and now it's just reason is I get points when I use my credit card to buy food, so buy meals. So I may as well just use my credit card, especially because there's an annual fee on my credit card. And there's welcome bonuses that I'm trying to hit on my credit card. And yeah, if you have that annual fee, I kind of like it. It really makes you want to go out and spend your money. Which actually talk more about the annual fee credit cards later in this video. Phone bill was $27.75, so that's about average. Not too bad. I don't have a huge phone bill because I don't have a lot of data on my cell phone. It's really hitting the spot right now. It's a bit cold out right now. I'm in Canada, so it's getting cold now. So, yeah, it's October the 6th right now at 7 a.m. Basically, a little after 7. So, yeah, now, I did do a super chat to a content creator that I like to follow named Billy Blue. He's a travel vlogger, and I think he's still in Thailand, but he bounces around a lot. But so that's like, if the person doing a live chat, you can have a highlighted comment for a donut, and you can make a message, and you're like I said, it'll be highlighted and stuff. So it's more likely to see it. So, water and sewer is $0. I'll need to pay that about every 3 months. Bank account checking fees. I was. Rather, I made mistakes in the past where I would make over 12 debit transactions, probably because I was lending a lot of money. So there'd be a lot of indirect e-transfers. This month I didn't do too many of those, so I maintained less than 12 debit transactions on my checking account. Plus, I maintained a $3,000 balance on my checking account. Or it could be 3,000 or over 3,000, of course, but and so yeah, I didn't get charged a service fee for my bank checking account this month, which is great. And internet, $161.17. So a lot of people find that pretty high, and I do as well. I got the fast internet I could get because I do upload frequently to YouTube, and I got sick of slow upload speeds when I had my previous internet. So it's just a luxury for me. I just love having that fast upload speed when I want to get that video published and have people watching it, and the nice comments come in and everything. It makes it worthwhile for me. So. I don't have to pay my rent until I think the first of the month, but I do like to pay in advance so that I can guarantee that I won't run out of money and be short on the rent. So once I get that second paycheck, which hits at about 21st or 22nd day of every month, I like to pay off the following month's rent, which is $850. I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment. Here in Canada, and that East abroad, yeah. Now I have Amazon Prime, which I might get rid of because I haven't really been using it much. That was $11.19. YouTube Premium, that's YouTube without the ads. I think it's worth every penny, honestly. Like, I go to my parents' place now and then. Well, actually, I go there very often. And my parents don't have YouTube Premium, and we watch still a lot of YouTube out there as well. And we have to get the ads, and it's really annoying to me, man. Like, I love YouTube Premium. I'd highly recommend it. If you get YouTube Premium, I guess. It's a bit biased for me to say, because if you get YouTube Premium, then I feel like you're probably more likely to watch my videos because you can probably enjoy them more because your relaxation won't be interrupted by the ads. But I mean, if you get YouTube Premium and you watch my videos, I still get money from that. I still get revenue from that. So I spent $2,121.06. So I've spent a fair bit. And unfortunately, I won't be able to quit my day job anytime soon. So, but now we'll go on to how much money I made. So first paycheck was $1,793.89. So that was higher than usual for me. For some, that wouldn't be a big paycheck, but for me, that was a big one. I work at basically two jobs, which is at the same location and same department and everything. But same resort. I work at a resort. I do front desk stuff, so I check people in, check people out, make reservations, and then I do night audit stuff where I give the servers the tips that they're owed and stuff like that. Making sure people are posted, employees posted, payments to the correct got the correct way on the computer and stuff like that. And now paycheck number 2, $1,359. So that was alright too, not too bad of a paycheck there. So PayPal, I'm on Patreon. That's a website where you can sign up to pay a content creator monthly. Now to support them, I have 3 patrons on Patreon, and I made $14.43 from PayPal, and they use PayPal to one of the ways you can get paid from Patreon is to use PayPal channels payments online. My Google AdSense check was higher than it's ever been before, which is great. So that was for the month of August and 2024, and I made $614. And so thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's from the advertisement revenue. Well, I do have one member. On YouTube, and it's kind of like Patreon, the kind of thing. So thank you to that YouTube member, but most of my made of some advertising revenue, and yeah, like I said, this is more than I ever received before. And I think it also is because I got a big tip from a guy, a subscriber on I think I bought a $199 tip, super chat tip, and so thank you to that member. Money I lent out was paid back to me, $320. Yeah, so I'm trying to lend less. I'm trying to lend money now, and I've been going good so far, but. Interest I earned was about $69.62. Total money that I earned $4,170.94. Yeah, and now the interest that I earned was like from I got basically 2 GICs, so guaranteed investment certificates, I think they stand for. And that's your guarantee to make money. There's a risk, but they're not super high interest. so that's the downside of them. But the upside is that there's zero risk, basically. I guess that maybe the bank that you're banking with goes bankrupt or something, then maybe you can lose money, but provided that doesn't happen, you're guaranteed to earn a certain amount of interest. And I have a GIC and a TFSA, so a tax-free savings account, where your money can grow tax-free. I don't know if you have them in the United States. Yeah, there's probably a version of that in the United States, definitely. But and the other one I have is a registered retirement savings plan, or it might just be a registered retirement savings plan. But so yeah. Not totally sure what I'm saving up for with the TFSA. It might be buy my first home, down payment. It might be buying a car. So, not totally sure. It might be just moving out if I decide to quit my job. But yeah, so now profit I made, so $4,170.94 minus $2,121.06 equals $2,049.88 profit. So that's pretty good for this month, in my opinion. I was able to save quite a bit, so. Now I'll move on to a short ramble. Yeah, so a dating coach named Mystery once said that our brains are still wired the way they were wired when a long time ago when we lived in hunter-gatherer societies, when we were super primitive and stuff like that. And he said that if you were a guy and you goofed up and you didn't know how to ask out a girl and you goofed it up, a certain amount of gossip would start going around the tribe, and the girls would start to believe that you're not, or they would believe that you're not pre-selected, and that basically you're just a guy to do that you should reject instead of a guy that you should accept. That's the sexual mate, and that's interesting. But so he believes that you should know what you're doing when you're gonna ask out a girl. And then he has a whole system on it, but I won't get into that. But I did buy one of his books in the past, but I don't really, didn't really read the whole thing, and I don't really use his system or anything like that. But it's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry for it's back in that spoon against the bowl. But it's interesting to think. I mean, in my opinion, what do girls find attractive? Well, they find it unattractive if you're going around getting rejected by girls, or they find it attractive because you're persistent and you're maybe assertive, and maybe they like it, persistent, assertive guys, and maybe it shows that you're in the market for a girlfriend, so they might become interested because of that. I think if you're going out there, you're asking girls out, I think girls will believe that, you have, what's the word, for lack of a better word, have balls. And I mean to say that in like a mean way, like, as if you're not asking girls out, or guys out if that's your thing. But you don't have testicles, but it's just I think they'll value your courage as an attractive quality, and maybe think that if you're in the market for, and they'll know that you're in the market for a girlfriend. So some girls that are interested in you might make themselves more available to you. And just available in the way that they'll go on a date with you. That's what maybe I was thinking recently because I asked a girl out and I got a date with her. And this is a girl that I worked with. But for the second date, I asked her out again. And she said no, basically. But I asked out recently. After that, I asked out another girl that I work with also. She said yes, and we went on a date. And I think it went fairly well. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like when you're asking girls out, it's like you're asking a lot of girls out. You're gaining momentum, I think. Especially if you have the belief that with every girl that you ask out, you're getting closer and closer to a girl saying yes to a date with you. And that kind of reminds me of an interesting video that I think I talked about before. But it's a guy named, calls himself Vegas Dave, and he's a sports bettor, where he runs a sports betting agency. And in the video he just says how his mentality is that when you're getting rejected, you're just getting that much closer to somebody saying yes. And a lot of people don't have that mentality, unfortunately. They take it personally and stuff. And they're just like, the next person's probably going to say no as well. So they have the wrong mentality, really. But it's an interesting video. And I think it's called Stop Fearing the Word No by Vegas Dave. But now let me just check this out here. Yeah, I want to get a program that allows me to do picture-in-picture. So those are the videos where I have like a video of myself in the corner of the screen, and then I'm talking over me scrolling around on the internet and stuff like that on Google Chrome or something. And because right now how I do it is I'm putting two videos together. One of me talking, it's on my face, the video. The other part of the video is me scrolling on the internet and stuff and clicking on things. And I'm trying to like sync them together and put them together, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So if anybody has any tips about programs that I could use, yeah. Where it's just synced into one video, and the timing's just perfect, and that'd be great. But now I'm going to talk about, do a bit of a review. Now, this is for sure a spoiler alert, so I'm going to spoil the video, because if I can't spoil the video, I can't talk about it as well as I want to. So basically, this movie's called Big Fan, and I'll just see here, just so I don't forget, because I kind of forget the actors' names. I got a Wikipedia article here, just give me 2 secs. Okay, so I'll read this from Wikipedia. Big Fan is a 2009 American dramedy film written and directed by Robert D. Siegel and starring Patton Oswalt, Kevin Corrigan, Marcia, John Kurtz, Michael Rappaport, and Scott Farrell. Now, let me just see here. So this movie basically is about a guy living in New York City, and he's overweight, and not a very big guy, but he's overweight, and he seems to be about in his 30s, and he's living with his mom. And he's like the biggest New York Giants football team fan ever. He's like a huge fan. And he has posters in his bedroom. He has posters of the New York Giants. He has one poster of Quantrill Bishop. He was one of the star players on the New York Giants. And he works in a parking garage. Just has the attendant. You have to pay to go use the garage. And when he's in there, like, he shows like different people like abusing him, and he's being reasonable. He's just saying, you do have to pay. And the guy's like, I've been only in there for like 20 minutes. And it's like, well, you gotta pay, and blah blah, and the guy says to him, like, have fun in your box. So, and he insults him for no good reason. So he's getting abused, and it's probably a low-paying job as well. So the main character, his name is Paul, and so Paul's hobby, what he likes to do, is he'll call into a radio station, and then Paul has an enemy named with a guy who's nicknamed Philadelphia Phil. So Philadelphia Phil will call into the sports radio station and start bashing the New York Giants fans and saying, like, because there's a big rivalry between the two football teams, the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants, apparently. And probably rivalry between cities as well, Philadelphia and New York City. And Philadelphia Phil starts saying, we're gonna kick your ass, this Saturday in this game, and New York Giants suck, and New York Giants fans are a joke, blah blah. He'll call into this actually New York sports station, radio station. And then what Paul will do is he'll call in afterwards, and it might be a couple days after or something, and he'll do a rebuttal, and he'd be like, you said we're gonna lose this game, but we won, and Philadelphia Phil sucks, and the Philadelphia Eagles suck, blah blah blah. And he's actually quite good at it. Like, he has points, good points when he's making about the strategies and stuff and he seems to be well spoken, but he says that he's doing it like winging it off the top of his brain, but really he's reading off a script. But he's good at that, but the problem is that his mom will try to interrupt him while he's doing it. And because the walls are thin, and his mom's bedroom and his bedroom are like pretty close together, and it's just a small little apartment. his mom. They fight about little things. And Paul's gonna meet to his mom. And now, let's see here. Well, this is not my girlfriend. Let me just see. Now, I don't think he does. He does have a friend. He's friends with a guy who's also a huge New York Giants fan. And it shows them driving to a New York Giants game. It's in New York City. But you think they're going to the game and like actually sit in the stands, but it shows them they park outside of the stadium and they hook up a radio to the car engine and with the electricity, and then they listen to the game being announced by commentators on the radio, and they sit in the parking lot on some lawn chairs and just listen to the game and cheer and stuff like that, and they get really excited. And but yeah, so now he goes to his brother's house for his brother's son's birthday party, and he goes there, and his brother is a lawyer. And another thing aside from the birthday party, they are celebrating, his brother's name is Jeff, and they're celebrating Jeff's, like he just got a commercial for his law practice put on live TV. So we're celebrating that. You can see that everybody's happy for Jeff except for Paul, and Paul's sitting there and totally not happy. And now the whole family's there, and at that time Paul's brother-in-law offers Paul a job at Price Club, which is like, I think, like Costco. And Paul's brother-in-law says that, yeah, like 5 years' time, you could really move up and up the ranks and get a great job and stuff like that. And Paul's sister was like agreeing with her husband. She's like, yeah, I think you should. Don't you want something better than the parking attendant job? And Paul, he has kind of like a mean response. He's like, maybe I should offer you a job. And he's talking to his sister. He's like, you're stuck inside a depressing dentist's office all day. And his sister's like, how is a dentist's office depressing? Paul's just basically like, I have a job. He doesn't want to hear it. Then on the ride home, Paul's mother is talking to him, and she's like, I think you should accept the job. What do you have against Price Club? Like, if you got a job there, maybe you could meet somebody like your brother did. Your brother met somebody at work. And Paul again rejects the offer. And yeah, I mean, so he doesn't want to change in that respect. No. Paul and his best friend, a little while later, were grabbing some pizza. Paul's friend grabs a slice of ham and pineapple or Hawaiian pizza. And then Paul's like, how can you eat that crap? And then his friend is like, it's the best. And he's like, have you tried it? And Paul's like, no. And it's like, how can you knock it like that if you haven't tried it? And Paul's like, well, I don't need to drink piss to know it tastes like piss. So it seems like Paul, he doesn't like to try new things. I mean, you could argue it's just a slice of pizza, and that isn't spilling over to other aspects of his life. I mean, but that's what I'm kind of gathering from the scenes I'm seeing. But to their surprise, Paul and his friends see Guancho Bishop and his entourage of friends getting gas at a gas station. It's right outside the pizza shop, and they see this, and they're like, holy fucking shit, Guancho Bishop. And it's like the star player of the New York Giants, and what's he doing here? And the guy's like, his friend's like, I don't know. And you know what? They actually, Guancho Bishop drives off, and Paul and his friend decide to follow him in their vehicle. So now they're following Guancho Bishop, and they keep following him, and they're all excited, and they're probably not thinking about what they're doing, and they go to Guancho Bishop drives and his entourage. They drive to Manhattan, and they park at a strip club, and Paul and his friend get the find parking. They're not allowed to park that low-grade vehicle that they have in front of the strip club or anything like that. But they find parking in a parking garage. I guess that's not that important, but they have to pay a bunch of money to do that. It just shows like difference in class between him and like the star player. He got valley parking, the star player of the Guancho Bishop's entourage. So they get in the strip club, and it's like super expensive, and it's like, they follow. Guancho Bishop has a booth, and then Paul and Guancho Bishop shows him like maybe doing some cocaine in the bathroom, and Paul's friend's idea is like, you should follow him into the bathroom and take a piss beside him, and just strike up a conversation with him while you're in. It's just gonna be like two guys pissing and enjoying it. Something, I don't know. So, but Paul tries that, but he doesn't have the courage to do that, and he goes in. He's in the bathroom with him, but he doesn't have the courage to spark a conversation with him. It looks like Guancho Bishop's doing coke. And Guancho Bishop goes back to his booth, and then Paul and his friend have a new idea. They're just like, let's just go up to his booth and see if we can get in there. And so they go up to his booth, and then the guys are just like, Paul and his friend are just like, hey, how's it going? Guancho, like, we're your biggest fans, and at first Guancho Bishop's like, oh man, that's cool. And he's just smiling and laughing and blah blah blah. And he's like saying to his entourage, like, I told you guys I had fans and stuff. And but then Paul's like, yeah, we saw you at Stapleton. And Guancho Bishop for a second is like, Stapleton? He says that just, entourage. He's like, what's up with Stapleton? Weren't we there? And he's like, and you can see like the gears widening his brain for a second. And he says to Paul and his friend, he's like, you guys following us? And they're just like, well, yeah, but we were just trying to get your attention. Like, we're big fans. And his entourage is Tyrell. And Tyrell's he's a huge football player. He's paid to tackle people for a living. That's actually his role. And I forget what the position was, but is to tackle the person who throws the ball, the QB, I think, quarterback. It's a huge guy. Ball's a small guy, and then people are trying to calm him down, but he starts acting up, and he's just like, he starts going, what the fuck, I can't believe you're following us, man, what are you crazy, you're my stalker, I can't believe this, and Paul's trying to like say, no, I'm not trying to, but Quancha Bishop just starts hitting him, and just beats the living shit out of him, just really bad, like, just, Paul doesn't get a punch in. I don't know if he would even fight back, because it's his hero, but Quancha Bishop beats the hell out of him. And then Paul wakes up in the hospital, and he's got like a brain injury, and he's not completely disabled and stuff, but he can't remember what day it is, and his friends and family come to see him, and his brother's like, we should go, and brother comes in and he's like, we should go and sue Quancha Bishop. And remember, his brother's a lawyer. And then Paul's like, well, gee, I'm not sure about that right now, and I think he kind of like lips off his sister-in-law in some way, and then Paul finds out that Quancha Bishop has been suspended from playing football, but on a game-by-game basis. It's not known how long it's going to be, and it depends on the investigation that's going on right now. So people have heard about this, and so now a detective comes to see Paul, and at first Paul wants to maybe cooperate a bit, but he's not sure, and he decides at that time he can't really give that detective much information. And then it shows Paul, he's basically in the position where he's torn. He's being pulled in two different directions. He's not sure if he wants to tell on Quancha Bishop, because the detective said that everybody I asked that was in the club said they didn't see anything. So the detective's really wanting Paul to tell his side of the story, and Paul's not sure what to do. He's having migraines, and people are asking him if he's okay. He's unable to masturbate. There's a scene of him crying in his bed, and now the New York Giants have a game versus some other team, and then they lose, and then Paul's friend is trying to say that anything but basically that it was Quancha Bishop's fault that he's not playing, basically, and I think that's how it goes. I think that's what happens, but it's kind of hard to remember, but I think the Giants lose a game, So Philadelphia Phil calls in, and Paul's listening, and he bashes the New York Giants again and says they suck, blah blah blah. Paul's getting more and more angry and fed up about this. And then Paul's brother, Paul looks in the paper, and then he finds out that his brother is pressing a lawsuit against Quancho Bishop. And then Paul goes over to his brother's house, really angry, and just says, like, what the hell are you doing? How can you do this? And his brother's like, you know, you're not gonna press charge against this animal, beat you up, like, I can't believe it, like, you know, blah blah. And then so Paul's brother's trying to do that. And then what happens is basically Paul is the detective comes over again and tries to get Paul to make a confession. And then Paul says, like, I can't remember. And then the detective's is like, you can't remember or you won't remember. And then Paul's like, I can't. And you can tell that Paul says he's saying he has amnesia, which he doesn't really, even though he has a brain injury, but he knows damn well what happened. But the detective's all pissed off and he walks off. And now, since Paul told the detective that nothing happened, basically, or he couldn't remember what happened, whatever, Quancho Bishop is legally allowed to play again, and his suspension is lifted so that he plays again. But unfortunately, in the game he plays, he loses the game, and Paul's friend, tries to convince Paul that it wasn't because of that he got suspended. But Paul was like, no, it's because he was rusty. Paul's like blaming himself, blah blah blah, and that he should have, I guess, told the detective earlier that Guancho didn't do anything to him, blah blah blah. And so now Philadelphia, he calls in and went to the radio station and tries to give Philadelphia Phil some shit and stuff like that, but he can't really remember what he's saying. And he's not as good as he used to be because he's had the brain injury. And I think it's on either that call or another call that Paul's mom gets on the phone on the other line. It's not a cell phone, it's a landline. And it's like, Paul, because he's calling in the middle of the night, and he's like, Paul, I can't sleep. She's like, Paul, I can't sleep, blah blah blah, like, you need to get off the phone, like, we're gonna, and she kind of shames him for being a grown man and this kind of stuff. But he's she has a childish activity basically, and then the radio announcer laughs at him. Kinda, and says, like, is that your mom? And blah blah. He puts two together. He's like, well, he's the guy living with his mom when he's a middle-aged guy, which is our society frowned upon, basically. Everybody knows that. And, it probably shouldn't be, but it is. And now, like, for younger guys, it's okay, but when you're middle-aged, it starts to reflect poorly on your reputation, blah blah blah. Now, and then on another, and Paul's like enraged, and he goes and to his mom's room in his bedroom. He's like, how could you do that to me, blah blah blah. And his mom's like, and they get into an argument. Basically what comes out of it is that his mom's just like, you should get married and have children, that's what your like goal in life should be. And then Paul's like, I don't want any of that, blah blah blah, I don't want it, blah blah blah. And then another Philadelphia Bill calls in and to the radio station, and then in one way somehow he finds out, like, through Paul's online profile that Paul has, and through looking at the investigation about in the papers about Quancho Bishop. Like, he finds out that Paul from Staten Island, New York, is the person who actually got Quancho Bishop, got beat up by Quancho Bishop and stuff like that. And Paul was like, he's like, that's it, I'm gonna have to do something to this Philadelphia Phil guy. So he puts on paint on his face and stuff like that of the Philadelphia colors, drives to Philadelphia and goes to a sports bar because this guy was like, Philadelphia Phil on the radio was like, I'm gonna be with my brethren, my fellow Philadelphia Flyers, Eagles fans at a certain sports bar in Philadelphia, cheering the Philadelphia Eagles on this Saturday, blah blah blah. As Paul goes there, and he has never seen Philadelphia Phil, I think, before, but he's able to recognize him by his voice and stuff like that. And he goes, Philadelphia Phil, he's like yelling at the TV, and he's like, the Giants suck, and this and that. So, yeah, and he sits beside him, and now, and Philadelphia Phil isn't able to tell who this guy is, who Paul really is, and he starts watching the game with Philadelphia Phil as a friend, basically. They start talking a bit, and then Philadelphia Phil gets up and goes to the washer, and Paul follows him in there, and he pulls out a gun, Paul does, and then he's like, Philadelphia Phil puts up his hands, and he's like, don't shoot, blah, 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 I got the wrong guy. Paul's like, no, I got the right guy. And then he's just like, Paul shoots him a couple times, but then you find out that it's just paintballs, and it's the color blue and red, which is the New York Giants color. I think it's blue and red. It might be blue and white, sorry. I should have looked that up before I started this video, but... And then Paul's last words to him is like, Eagles suck, and blah, blah, blah. And Paul runs out of there, and then excuse me one second. He gets tackled by the police, and he goes to jail. And his friend comes to see him, and he's like, Paul's like, do you have the schedule for the New York Giants games? And his friend like has them clipped out of a newspaper, and he puts them right on the glass separating Paul and his friend. And he's like, I got it right here. And then Paul's like, I think the last thing he says in the movie is like, it's gonna be a great season. So you can see basically, I think what happens is like he's a guy who's in his comfort zone basically, and unwilling to change for the better, and he just there's a price to be paid for stubbornness basically. And so yeah, that was my review there. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the rest of my video too, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.